Meant to make.
Joanne, how long are we talking? Because we have a very...
When I was looking for a job, the first time I got out of pharmacy school, I was one of the first females. That role was just for men. All women did in the past was to take care of men. They took care of babies. They only had jobs for nurses and teachers. So sitting here and listening to all of this, I know somebody planted a tree and now you guys are standing in the shadows. And keep planting trees so that we don't carry coffee. She doesn't brew, he brews.
All right, okay.
Get a girl.
Okay, any other question? I need questions, you guys. Question, there you go. I need questions.
Okay, hi. This question is for Barbara. Being that you are a financial planner in a male-dominated industry, what challenges did you, came to you during your career, and how did you overcome them? In situations where men, either gave you an obstacle you had to overcome. How did you overcome them?
Okay, before you answer, I want to make sure that you guys were, I'm very tight with time. 1 minute to answer.
That's a really good question because it was an uphill battle. First of all, getting hired and having been the only female in a 30-man staff, and most of them were 50 and older. And they said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Get the hell out of my way." And my sales manager gave me my first appointment on the top of Fallbrook Mountain on a Friday night, rainy, with no lights. And I got lost. And I was an hour late in my appointment, but I knocked on the door. And I said, "Hi, my name's Barbara from Prudential. I'm late, I'm sorry." He said, "What the hell, come on in." And we had cookies and tea. He gave me all of his business. I put it in my briefcase. The next Monday was our sales meeting, and we always got up and announced how the activity week was. I opened up and they didn't even call on me. And they said, "Meeting adjourned." I said, "Excuse me? Excuse me?" And he said, "Oh, yeah, Barb, you have something to say?" And I said, "Yeah, I went on my first appointment on Friday night on the top of Fallbrook Mountain in the rain, and I was an hour late. But I got all this business, and I don't know what to do with it." And I opened my briefcase up and poured it on the desk, and all the guys went, "What? Are you kidding me?" It shut them up.
All right, okay. Who's next? Okay, go ahead. Stand up, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Deanna. I actually was invited by this beautiful lady, Melissa. She came in as a candidate for financial advising, and I was inspired by what she was doing, so she invited me tonight. My question is for New School. You looked like such a familiar face, so I wanted to ask you, were you a part of Bridgepoint Education?
I worked for Ashford University Bridgepoint Education for 9 years.
I was a part of Ashford University Bridgeport, and you looked like a familiar face. So my question was, when did it just hit you after leaving Ashford to say, "You know what, I'm going to stand and make this something for me in the twirl"? Because if you know Ashford, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere, they used to say.
Ooh. So she's not lying. It was a very interesting chapter in my life. I stopped my career as a child development counselor. I wanted to work with adults. Worked with kids for 2.5 years. I want to work with adults now. And I had the opportunity to step into higher education, and it was an amazing opportunity because I found out very quickly if you have the drive and the confidence not only to make change but to support students and really make a great student experience, as long as your why really aligns with what you're doing, there's nothing that's going to stop you. So I climbed everything. Only this group is allowed to know, I even turned down promotions left and right. I stayed in my current role because it was an organization that I was not afraid to ask for more. You're currently in this role. Well, I'm good at this as well. I want to do more. Well, we want to promote you. No, I don't want to do that yet. But I want to be able to have hands-on here, hands-on with hiring. I want to do learning and development. So you're going to pay me more, but I'm going to stay in my role. But I want to do more. And then once I felt like I had all my tools on my tool belt, I came back around to Andrew Clark and I said, how about that promotion? And I was the first person to be able to step into an Ascenta development role. And then just sky's was the limit from there. I became a manager. Unfortunately, 2008, we did do a mass kind of, layoff, and because I was one of the newer managers, unfortunately,
you're now the
they laid
director.
me off. But I always say everything, even if it feels like, why is this happening to me right now? Everything that happens to you in your life is happening for a reason. It's readjusting you to put you on the path where you're supposed to go. So if Ashford didn't do that, I wouldn't have ended up at University of St. Augustine and got the experience I needed there to get more tools on my belt, and then became a director of admissions for Pacific College for Health Sciences, which now in turn, now I'm a senior director of marketing and enrollment. So now I'm starting to reach out all over again, and my goal is to go into that next chapter, whatever that's gonna look like for next year. But the key is just keep going, don't stop.
All right, thank you. Next,
Right, real quick.
who's your question for who?
1 second. I just wanted to say with that comment, because I worked at Ashford with you, that just inspired me to say, hey, now's the time. So
All right.
thank you for
Thank
that.
you. Okay, is your question for?
Hello, my name is Elaine, and my question's for Misty, and she
Okay.
brought me here today. So as I get to know her personally, my question for Misty in 60 seconds is, how do you take your ideas from inspiration to monetization?
From my book? I did not set that up. In 60 seconds, I want to say this, is that everyone in this room is here for a divine purpose, and you have a divine gift. And everyone's is different than the person sitting next to you. And we spend too much time like, oh, I'm not good enough, or she's an engineer, but that's a divine gift. That's from God. So if you have an idea, that idea is from God. And so how do you take that is you have the belief in it, you create the team around it, but you have to make it more than you. You have to know your idea is not for you. If God put it in you, he put it to get you to channel it to the world, because he's got a bigger plan, and his plan is bigger than your fears.
Okay, I need a question for Tamara or Yolanda. I need a question for Tamara or Yolanda. Who wants to ask a question? Okay, there you go.
Okay, so Yolanda, this is a question for you. Who has inspired you the most for you to get to where you are today?
That's a loaded question. As I said, I come from a family of entrepreneurs, and I spent many years. Oh, that's right. We got 1 minute. I spent many years trying to pattern my mom and my mom's side of the family, because they're pretty successful entrepreneurs. An example: a cousin just bought 244 acres of land in Placid, Missouri, and started a hemp farm. So we have this internal competition in our family. So, I got to really come up with something. Okay? But, I was the first one to start buying real estate, and so that's what they know me for. I do own property here in the country as well as in Mexico with a group of investors. But it's my family. Yeah.
Last question for Tamara. There you go. Dustin has a question.
Thank you. Dustin with the collab. As I look around, I notice I'm in a pretty unique position. And given that, you worked in a male prevalent space, you said, in engineering. My question to you is, I'm also in a male prevalent space, have it being brewery, winery, all that good stuff. My question to you is, what can I do as an employer, as a boss, to stay more aware of what I say, how I act around women that I employ?
Really great question. Great man.
No.
Wow. Thank you. Great question. And just even asking is like the first step. I think, all my time, the last 10 years being in a male-dominated field, you struggle to be heard a lot. So I think the first step is listening, and not listening, getting ready to say your bit afterwards. It's really just listening to what whoever you're working with, what they want to accomplish, and really enabling people. I feel like a lot of times, especially in the corporate world, we work with, managers see their employees as you are the people who are going to get the things done, instead of saying, what can I do to enable you guys to feel fulfilled in doing these things. People are not motivated by the bottom line of a company. They always have these sort of meetings. Oh, and next year we're going to make 25% more, and you're like, great, okay. Like, how does that affect me? It's yeah, exactly. You need to motivate them on things that affect them. We want to make your work-life balance better. If we work harder, it means you get to spend more time with your family. Find out what motivates people truly, not the the mission statement of your company, and maybe align your mission statement of the company further with the individuals and what they want, and give them a place to speak about their ideas. They know what it's like on the ground, and so they've got great feedback. So generating a place where you can allow people to give you feedback is a really great way to start.
Woo! Isn't that amazing?